Hi everyone. So today we are going to start our third and last session of ongoing playlist which is on macroeconomics. After completion of today's session, we will complete 98 marks of IBBI syllabus and we will be left with only statistics which carries 2 marks, little bit lengthy but also scoring. So in today's session we are going to cover various components of economy. We'll also discuss about informal sector in urban economy, parasitic components in urban economy, difference between real economy and parasitic economy. We also talk about advantages of parasitic economy. We'll a little bit touch upon GDP, GNP from exam perspective. We'll also talk about NFIA, which is short form of net factor income from abroad, and net national product, national income, or also called NNP at factor cost. So this is the full syllabus of macroeconomics, which carries 3 marks. In session number 1, we covered this part: function, role of money, inflation, control of inflation, deflation. In session number 2, we have already covered about savings and investments, determinants, investment types, determinants of investment relationship, etc. and theories also. And in today's session, we are going to cover the remaining portion of macroeconomics. So let us first talk about what are the various components of economy. Indian economy can be broadly divided into various components based on following parameters. Number 1, basis of classification could be based on nature of activity, and the economy can be divided into primary, secondary and tertiary. Second parameter could be based on condition of work, organized and unorganized sector. And third parameter for classification of various components of economy could be based on ownership of asset, public and private sector. So primary sector, when goods are produced by exploiting natural resources, it comes under the activity of primary products. It involves transforming natural resources into primary products. Since most of the natural products we get from agriculture, dairy, fishery, forestry, this sector is also called agriculture and related sector. Please note down, primary sector is also called agriculture and related sector. Secondary sector, in this sector, primary products are being converted into other forms or finished goods. So whatever products we produced under primary sector, these are being converted into other forms or finished goods by manufacturing into factory, workshop or at home. This is also called industrial sector. Secondary sector is also called industrial sector. Please note down, remember this thing. Since manufacturing involve industries involvement also. Secondary sector is usually divided into light industries and heavy industries. These are the further classification of secondary sector or industrial sector. Light industries, it involves products that require less capital and is more consumer oriented. For example, manufacturing of clothes, shoes, furnitures. And heavy industries, it involves products that are either heavy in weight or in their production process. They require huge capital and advanced resources facilities, for example, chemical plants, production of heavy equipments. Broadly speaking, consumer goods, B2C, business to consumer, and this is B2B. These products are being normally used by other companies, other factories for production of some other things like factories, machineries, chemical plants, etc. Third sector is tertiary sector. Sometimes question comes out of this slide only. The activities in tertiary sector help in the development of primary and secondary sector. Please remember this line. So this sector helps in development of primary and secondary sectors. These activities do not produce any good, but they are an aid or a support for the production process. Basically, they directly do not produce anything, but they support in terms of production process. Example of this tertiary sector could be transport, banking, insurance, tourism, entertainment, management consultancy, etc. Since the activities involved in tertiary sector generate services rather than goods, it is also called service sector. Please do remember that tertiary sector is also called service sector. Now let us talk about parallel economy. Informal sector in urban economy. So this part of economy is also called black market or shadow economy or underground economy, etc. So informal sector in urban economy is synonymous to black market, shadow economy, underground economy, etc. The entrepreneur in this sector work for their livelihood and not for making more profits. While analyzing Indian economy, it is observed that there are two major sectors, namely organized and unorganized. The organized sector contributes two-thirds of the GDP, whereas one-third is being contributed by inorganized sector. Let us talk about what are the main features of informal sectors. Low income of organization, small in scale, usually employing up to 10 workers and often from immediate family. Heterogeneity in activities, easier entry and exit than in the formal sector. Usually minimal capital investment is required, little or no division between labor and capital. Mostly labor intensive work is involved in informal sector, requiring low level of skills. There is usually no formal training as workers learn on the job. Employee-employer relation is generally unwritten and informal with little or no rights. Workers in this sector are largely unaware of their rights and have their little negotiating power with their employers and intermediaries. Role played by informal sector. Informal sector plays an important role in terms of its capacity to absorb labor. It provides, a lot of huge employment opportunities to labor, provides a sizable amount of goods and services at inexpensive cost. And third role played by informal sector is it sustains a large proportion of urban population. It gives bread and butter to quite a large proportion of urban population. Parasitic component in economy. So following economic activities come under parasitic economies. Please remember gambling, speculation, dealing in notional values, forward trading in notional values, stocks, shares, derivatives, hedge funds, hoarding, unreasonable stocking. Hoarding is nothing but unreasonable stocking, anticipating price rise, prostitution and related work such as pimps, bootlegging, liquor bars, thieving, stealing and cheating, all other activities helping vices, unethical, immoral and criminal activities, money laundering, black marketing, derivatives, races, horse riding, etc. So let us understand what is the difference between real economy and parasitic economy. Real economy grows according to the market forces. However, parasitic economy grows artificially and is being managed by operators. Real economy is natural and so not habit forming. However, parasitic economy is habit forming. This line is very important from exam perspective. Parasitic economy is habit forming, addictive, since one afflicted by it stays into it. Parasitic economy pulls resources out of real economy, causing whirlpool effect. This effect of parasitic economy helps it grow continuously. So this is also important that parasitic economy takes out resources out of real economy, causing a whirlpool effect. And this whirlpool effect causes further growth of the parasitic economy. Real economy is based on simple basic laws of economy using real values. However, parasitic economy involve mostly notional values requiring complicated mathematical formulas to predict future values, making the jargon of economic vulgar. Real economy is always a healthy activity. However, parasitic economy is considered as a disease when it exceeds the safe limit of say 10 to 15%. So there are also some advantages of parasitic economy. In this parasitic economy, huge profits are possible. Since parasitic economy is managed by operators, market activity is controllable. Further, bull and bear positions can be predicted and manipulated clearly. Parasitic economy do have certain disadvantages as well, like it doesn't create any new asset for the country, so it doesn't contribute to the GDP, real GDP or gross GDP of the country. It does sucks in large funds to destabilize the monetary status of the real economy, which is called whirlpool effect. Again, important terminology. It creates effects like inflation and recession. And lastly, it is habit forming. So, demoralize society if spread to major section of the people like any otherwise. So, these four disadvantages are very important from examination perspective. Now, towards the end of the session, let us talk about various concepts associated with the national income. We'll touch upon this topic from exam perspective only. So, first important terminology is GDP. Full form of GDP is gross domestic product. So, this is the sum total of values of all goods and services produced within the geographical boundary of the country. Please remember, sum total of values of all goods and services produced within the geographical boundary of the country. This is without adding the factor income received from abroad. So within the country, goods and services produced within the country and income generated from those goods and services is called as GDP. Net factor income from abroad, short form is NFIA. This is not covered, this is not considered into GDP. So factor income earned by the domestic factors of production employed in rest of the world. So companies which are operating in India and earning income from outside India minus factor income earned by factors of production of rest of the world employed in domestic economy. So Indian company are producing 100 rupees of goods and exporting to some other outside India and getting income of 100 rupees. Now there must be some other companies which are of origin of other country and might be producing some goods or services and selling those goods and services in India. Say they are selling those goods and services to the cost of 60 rupees. So 100 rupees of export income minus 60 rupees of import income. 40 rupees is nothing but net factor income from abroad, NFIA. This is not considered by calculation of GDP. GNP. So GNP is gross national product. So gross national product is nothing but GDP plus NFIA, net factor income from abroad. Income generated within the country and income generated by Indian companies from outside country minus income generated by other company having origin of other countries from India. NNP at market price, net national product. NNP at market price is nothing but GNP minus depreciation of capital stock. So GNP is GDP plus NFIA minus depreciation of capital stock. Please remember this formula from exam perspective. Don't go deep into all these formulas. Next important terminology is national income or NNP at factor cost. It is NNP at market price minus indirect business tax minus tax liabilities minus business transfer payments plus subsidy from government. So this is the graphical presentation of all the terminologies: GDP within the country, NFIA outside the country, then this plus this is equal to GNP. So this is, this graph represents GNP is nothing but equal to GDP plus NFIA, and again GNP is also equal to NNP at market price plus depreciation. So this is also equal to GNP. Then NNP at market price is equal to NNP at factor cost plus indirect taxes, non-tax liabilities, government subsidies minus government subsidies, and then NNP at factor cost is equal to personal income plus undistributed profits plus net interest payment by household plus corporate taxes minus transfer receipt from household, and then personal income is equal to personal disposable income plus personal tax payment plus non-tax payment. So this graphical representation tells all about the total GDP GNP formula from exam perspective. So that's all for today's session. Thank you very much for watching third and last session of macroeconomic playlist. So before I'm going to tell you what we are going to have in our next and last playlist on statistics, which carries 2 marks, I would again request you to please subscribe to the channel and click on bell icon so that you will be notified about next upcoming session. So next playlist we are going to start with statistics. It carries 2 marks, little bit lengthy topic, but scoring, you can short score 2 marks out of it. So we'll try to cover this entire chapter, entire playlist into 4, 5 or 6 sessions maybe. So we'll talk about data classification, processing, graphical representation data, frequency distribution, measures of central tendency, dispersion, skewness, elementary theory of probability, distribution sampling, sampling distribution, sample test of significance, regression, correlation, multiple correlation coefficient, time series, index number. Thank you.